Hello, welcome back. I'm doing this back to front. You'll see when I start filming, I wasn't expecting to put this at the start, but here we're going to make some hot chocolate, a tasty treat to share with friends or to enjoy by yourself whilst having a catch up and coffee with your friends. I'm using Alpro almond milk, sugar free for the fairy that's watching, and my chocolate is also as low sugar as I could possibly get for this. So what I'm doing is warming up the milk on the stove, and I have smashed up my chocolate bar ready to go, and I'm going to drop that in. So I'm making enough for one large cup, so that's 400 mils of milk just gone in. My chocolate bar is I think it's 3.3 grams of sugar for the size it comes out, and this particular brand of chocolate has 5 of these little bars inside this box, so it's perfect for me. If you want it richer, then you just put more of the chocolate bars in. And I'm going to pop the chocolate in now that my milk's warm and let it start to melt down, and so it doesn't burn and stick to the pan that I've got going on here. I've decided to make peppermint chocolate today, so I'm going to add some peppermint, whatever you call it, extract. Fresh mint would be perfect for this, but I don't have any. It's the wrong time of year. It's all died off in the garden. So we're going to do peppermint in this one. I will also add nutmeg, cinnamon, and cayenne pepper, because this is based on an Aztec hot chocolate recipe. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit true to what it's supposed to be, but still messing around and mixing up to my flavours as we go. Once I've got this going, I'm going to put it on the wood burner to allow it to continue to infuse and melt down and become nice and warm and thick and bubbly. And that's something that I do when I have guests, is I leave one of these on the wood burner throughout the evening, just slowly bubbling away, so people can just help themselves to more hot chocolate as they please. When I'm serving guests, I will make this thicker. I will probably add 5 bars of chocolate to the 1 litre of milk to make it really thick and rich. And because I decided I wanted to add more to this, I'm going to drop some raw cacao powder in, just for its magnesium and copper properties, so it's healthy as well. And this is completely sugar-free in the raw format, and it makes it a little bit bitter. Once that's infused and warmed up, I will pop it into my cup, and I'm going to enjoy it, as it turns out, over a video chat with a couple of friends from YouTube. And I have some German cookies to go with, because I love these, I adore them. So we're having these today. And I will see you in the other side. If you try this, let me know, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here, and I am doing a camera face-off, and we're going to talk through some of the prompts that are remaining in my hashtag SOTW 2024. So you're with me, do excuse me, it's evening time here. You can see we're coming to the end of the season. I think it's 29th of December. So I still have some decorations up, so you can see my tree poking out behind me, and I am in my new dressing gown I got for Christmas. So I feel like well, the man of the manor, the magazine that shall not be spoken about anymore. But I feel a bit like him in my smoking jacket, very grown up. It's all velour. So let's talk about the prompts. I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to everyone who has messaged me, who tried the stuffed dates that I did, with the dates stuffed with nut butter, topped with some nuts, and then covered in dark chocolate. So a few of you have sent me messages privately and shared that you've done that on Instagram as well. So I'm so pleased you enjoyed them. They are a good one. And I forgot to say in any of those videos, I think, that they can keep in the fridge. I keep them in the fridge for up to probably 3 weeks. I find they stay fine in the, because they've been coated in chocolate, it sort of seals it all in. So I find that they're perfectly okay for 3 weeks in a takeaway container or a Tupperware container in the fridge. So I'm looking down because I have my notepad on my desk here. So we're moving on to the next prompt, which is the friendly wee ghostie. And with this one, the question is, how can I be more social this season? So originally, I was actually going to have, well, I'm still having, but it had to be cancelled due to people not being very well. But we were having a Chinese buffet night, and I could have showed that, and that would have given me more for you to talk about and to see, and to give you ideas about what we were doing. As it stands, we've had to cancel it, postponed it. It'll be next Friday, so it's going to be a little while before we get there, and it will depend on whether I've got time to film that day or not, because I've got a lot going on over the next 5-6 days. So what I have written, however, I have put something into my journal, and it was about that, in anticipation, ready so that I could write about it and take some photos and show you in my journal. So we are hosting our first gathering since COVID-19 struck the world and turned us all into turmoil. And shut the social circuit down. So this will be our first one here in our house with people. It feels like a long time. It's been a long time. I don't know if I have enough chairs, to be perfectly honest, but we shall see. So we're planning on doing a takeaway from a local Chinese called China Palace, and it will be a massive buffet on the table for everybody. And the idea is that we've just got good food, laughter, entertainment. There will be some beverages. There'll be some non-alcoholic beverages too, and we're just going to let our hair down and enjoy ourselves, as it's been quite a stressful year for most of us. We're going to have some non-alcoholic mulled wine, heated up, ready for the people that don't drink, and there will be plenty of different beverages for people who do drink that want to, partake. And we've got builders, all sorts of people coming, so we need like the burly, manly types of drinks as well as the ladies' drinks, for those of us who want a little bit of sparkle or a bit of carver. I am considering, on the occasion, depending on what the demand is I will be making some Aztec hot chocolate. So I shall add a video of that, because I made some for myself earlier today, a little bit different to the recipe that's in my journal. I did peppermint, so there'll be a video on the back end of this for you to see how that one turned out, and it was very yummy. And I got to enjoy that while I was chatting with my friends online. And yeah, I think that's basically it. And also we've got people coming who are planning on moving away to other continents. So for some, it'll also be a day where I don't get to, my last social gathering with them, because I don't know when I'll get to see them again next once they move away, because they don't have any reason to come back to this country. So it's really going to be down to whether I'm ever in that country. So it's going to be a bit weird for some of it. Some of it's a bit of an ending as well for the Friendly Wee Ghosty for the social season. So it's going to be really nice. Now, I've also made a tomato soup, or the one I've made that I've got a video for here is vegetables and tomato, based on the tomato soup that I do. And I made that soup when I did my wreath making. So I've thrown in a video here as well, or put it together along with the chocolates. So the cooking is going to be at the end. If you enjoy cooking and things, if you don't, then you can, tune out for that bit. You don't have to stay around. I'm no... I can't even think. I'm no Jamie Oliver in the kitchen, if you like. So by all means, don't watch if you don't need to. And in my Friendly Wee Ghosty, I have put down some of my favourite beverages. So I'm going to, when I turn the camera around, I'll show you the screenshot of that, so you can, pause, take a picture, and you can write all those beverages down for you. And in that, I do, so if we're doing it in the garden and we're lighting a fire in the garden and it's cold but the weather's good, then Jamie Oliver's hot lemonade is a firm favourite that we like to do. The Aztec hot chocolate, as I say, that one's turned into a favourite, and they must. People expect when they come to see me. Pomegranate shots, that's something that not many people do, I don't think. So you freeze your shot glasses in the freezer, you get some fresh pomegranate, sorry my glasses won't stay on my head, you get some fresh pomegranates and vodka. Usually I have triple distilled or 5 times distilled vodka, so a very clean, very pure vodka in the freezer, and I just wait for that one to it goes like viscous and thick and gloopy and syrupy. So you take the shot glasses out, you pop some seeds of the pomegranates into them, or whatever you call that fruit, and then you top up with vodka and knock back. That's a good one for people walking in or wanting to be warmed up or on arrival. That's a really nice one. I also do I think it's called Kir Royale, which is sloe gin and champagne, or sloe gin and cava. There's 2 names for it, but it's the same principle basically. Yeah, so I also have those that I have popped into my journal. Sorry, forgive me. I'm trying to hold you because I haven't got, as I said, many places to film anymore. And then the next prompt that we move on to is the Lucky Black Cat. So that one is what brings me luck and joy. So the reason why I can talk to you about this is because for luck, I don't know that I have a lucky charm, a lucky anything. But for joy, I can talk about that till the cows come home, you know. So obviously, moving into this season, sharing those things that I've all mentioned in the previous prompt with friends, family, people that are near and dear to my heart, that's something that brings me joy. Having loved ones near as well, having security around me, appreciating what I have as well, also brings me joy. So, like, you know, being able to sit here in my dressing gown, it's probably a very small thing, but it brings me joy. Having some sparkly lights around me, again, another thing that brings me joy. Something warming on the TV. I think we have a Bridget Jones film just starting that I can see over there. So that's another thing. So, you know, laughter is a great joy bringer for me, and the people that I have online, the community that I found doing these tags, all of you who have joined in and shared. I mean, I can't tell you, that has touched my heart. It's so nice to see people actually joining in. And for those of you who are lurking as well and have been doing it in the background, I hope you're getting something from this. I truly, truly do. I know it's turned out to be bigger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I joked earlier today that actually this is probably a year-long tag. It's not really a 2-month or a 1-month thing. It's probably a lot bigger than that. But it, you know, this has brought me joy creating this, doing this, putting it out there, and doing the videos. Although it's felt, for me, it's been hard to fit them in with all my on-calls and work and, you know, expectations from outside influences. However, I have actually enjoyed doing this. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much again for bringing me joy and sharing your videos and allowing me to enjoy watching those. Now, with the Lucky Black Cat, it talks about creating a witch's ladder for luck and happiness. Now, this is something I really, really wanted to make, but I can't find any of the things I had out because the house has moved around again, and each time everything moves, I can't find things. So I can't find the red twine that I was going to use, but I want to just say there is, it was a link, and it was called darngoodyarn.com, and it was a blog where she did a little tutorial on how to make a witch's ladder. Now, a witch's ladder in originality, I think if I go back to like pagan-y times, would be done with knots, and there's the knot of 9 rhyme that comes with it, which you can find anywhere on Google if you Google that. And I think John Michael Greer has done something about witches' knots, ladders, and prayer beads. So again, there's some stuff there if you wanted to look that up. And the suggestion is that you might use 3 types of thread, usually something symbolic to you or for what you want to do, and you'd use 9 items with the 9 knots. So you'd tie in 9 items and say your rhyme as you go through, but you would pre-infuse the items with your intention that you want to do. And when you tie your last knot of 9, that is your final intention going into your witch's ladder, and then you hang it up and put it somewhere. So I think that's a really lovely thing to do. That is something I do want to do, but I don't think I'm going to get around to doing it while we're doing all of this. So I apologise, but I hope that the links and things will give you something to watch. There are YouTube videos. I think Rachel Patterson, who is a witch in the UK, has done quite a few videos on how to make a witch's ladder as well, and demonstrated how to make one. Who else? I can't think off the top of my head of anyone else immediately. It's common to tie in, originally it would have been common to tie in feathers, but feathers that you've found, naturally fallen feathers on the floor, or you can buy them from a craft shop, of course. Beads, pearls, charms. As time's moved on, the things that get tied in have changed as well. So you could tie in twigs that you've gathered from the ground. I want to say a bit like an Ogham rune, so picking up twigs of intention, tying them into your witch's ladder. That could be something that you do. I'm thinking of tying in some Chinese money coins, like, you know, the round ones with the square hole in. That's what I was thinking of tying in, and anything else I could find that was luck related for me. So I was going to look for some of the charms I had kicking around the house. Spoons, horseshoes, bows, just pretty kindly things, clovers, and just see where I got to with all of that. But as I say, I can't find anything, so I'm not even going to attempt to, you know, mess around and try something out. I have obviously done the wreath, which is on my door, so that's there for the moment, bringing in the luck and the season. yeah. So the bat roost would be the next prompt after this, but I'm not going to be doing the bat roost today. I'm going to do that one again because that one's got a VR attached to it, which I'd love for you all to join in and do. And that's my cozy hashtag. So hashtag cozy 444. And you will see what I have to say about that when I get there. And then we have the pumpkin patch, which is the journal entry. So what charms brings me protection from others, e.g. poppets, jewellery, coins, crystals, herbs, colours, clothing, meditations, etc, etc, etc. So for the pumpkin patch, charms that bring me protection, personally, so please, if you've got headphones in, take them away now. So on my keys, I have, no, I'm not being rude, I have bells. So I carry those for protection so that they scare away any bad jujus whenever I'm opening or entering places or looking up after myself. So they are on, like, they are literally everywhere. I have bells on doors, I have bells just hanging. I can walk past my hallway, I can, you know, smack some bells to make them ring, to change the energy, the vibrations. They are everywhere. They're on like keys, they come with me, they're on my bags, they're on my purses, they are just for charms because I like them so much. So yeah, I have bells everywhere. And my other kind of charm that I've been carrying a lot more lately is this one. So this is Labradorite. So you can see that blue flash. It's kind of pinstriped. It's amazing. And there's the back of this one. I don't know if you can see that as well. But there you go. So this one goes in my, because it's flat, so this one I can carry in my top pocket when I'm at work, and I usually carry it in whichever side I've got annoying people and I drop it in the pocket so that I use Labradorite to reflect their annoyingness back towards them. So that's what I do with my Labradorite. So that's in my top pocket. I've talked about that before, I think, in one of my earlier videos for something that, sorry, my fingers are just starting to ache holding on to the camera. So that's something that I do carry around with me. And then we have the magical toad spread. So I've got 2 more videos, possibly 3 to do after this. So if I turn you around now, thank you for watching my boring face talking about all this. I'll turn you around and show you my journal, and then I'll pop the videos in at the end of the tasty treats and things. Okay, so there we have our stuffed dates half. So this is the recipe that lots of you tried and reported back that you had enjoyed. So thank you. So our friendly wee ghosty, as you see, I've written up what I was saying about having friends over, what I plan to do, and then here's where I was going to put the videos of, and, you know, photos of the night and food that we served. So how can I be more social this season? So I already know how I'm going to be social. I've got it planned. So I don't need to pull a card for that, is the you know, basic premise of that one. And then here we have my friendly wee ghosty. So this is the soup that I've made, and I'll drop into the videos below. And this one, so if I just quickly talk you through, large pan of roasted vegetables with olive oil. The more olive oil you put on and the slower you roast all this to make it like gooey and sticky and like super gooey and lovely, it infuses the flavour and it becomes richer, much, much richer in flavour. I can't explain what happens, but something happens to it. And if you add olives as well, it enriches the flavour even more. It really is quite magical. Here are some of the extras I put in. So salt and pepper. You don't need to put this in, but I do put this in. So B12, I sprinkle on top, which you can see there in my soup. And the Outpro. So this one, because I made this one with parsnips and a very, very large sweet potato. When I say large, believe me, I mean large. It's probably the size of 3 average sweet potatoes from the UK. I didn't need to put the cream in, but if it was all tomato based and peppers, I would have popped the entire 250 mils of cream into my tomato soup to make it a creamy tomato soup. But as this one sits, it was just like a little garnish. You just put a dribble on top if you needed it. And I chose not to because I felt it was already rich enough for myself. And then we got some focaccia with herbs and mozzarella on it and cooked that. As you can see, I burnt it. And that's what we have for dinner. It was quite a thick soup. I did 800 mils of water with 1 vegetable stock pot. And if you wanted to make this runnier, you'd need to add more vegetable stock basically to what you're cooking. So that's my tip for the tomato soup that I made. Here's where you may want to screenshot. So you might want to pause now and screenshot for the recipes here. So these are just a few of the beverages that I like to make when I'm being social and have on go, especially if we're going outside as well. Then for my lucky black cat, so I've talked this one through in the earlier part of the video. So what brings me luck and joy? So I've talked about what brings me joy rather than luck. So what brings me joy? So we know that that is joining in with people. And here we have, so the witch's ladder. So here is a picture of one that inspired me. I just thought it was beautiful with all the flowers in. Now there's nothing in my garden at this time of year that I could use to infuse into a witch's ladder. But I think this would be an amazing Beltane looking ladder. And there's the link there that I was talking about that I found on Google. The bat roost is my cozy, so that'll be my next video. And then with the pumpkin patch, so what charms bring me protection? So I will take some pictures of what I've just shown you and I'll drop the pictures in here. So I don't need to do, now I could have done, I could have pulled some lenormands out here or any other oracle type cards that I have, and I could have pulled from those for pictures and things, which I did last year. But this year I don't feel I need to because I know exactly what it is that I have. And I'm quite happy with what I work with. So, but if you're new to this, and you might find that that's something you'd like to do to give you an idea of what might bring you those things if you're really not sure and you're, just exploring. So if you want to explore, go ahead, pull the cards, have fun. And yeah. And then here, create a protection charm to put on an item of your choice. So I don't need to create the protection charm because it's these for me. So I have lots of these now that I just have everywhere. So I literally don't need to create them anymore. And just by carrying crystals, that does the other thing for me as well. So I don't need to make things anymore that I need to carry. However, again, this could relate back to sigils and things. You could draw that on a piece of paper and pop it into your shoes. Yeah, whatever you need. You might want to make hang up some evil eye on a bead. So you might want to make a broom. So you could make a broom. That'd be cool. You could make a seasonal protection wreath or something that goes on your front door. So I've made, a seasonal wreath, which is out there at the moment, but you might choose to just do it, instead of it being a circular wreath, you may choose to make it as a, like set of sprigs. So some sprigs of fresh pine, and then tying into that something that you want to tie into, like, I don't know, cinnamon and things. And then we have the final spread down there. So there we go. So without much further ado, let's shoot you across to the cooking section of the videos. And for those of you who wish to stop here, thank you for watching and joining in. And I look forward to seeing what you've all got. Feel free to use any of the hashtags that I've just used, but start with hashtag SOTW2024. I've got the hashtag BatRoost, the hashtag Lucky Black Cat, and the hashtag Friendly Wee Ghosty, all included in this one. Okay. Much blessings for 2025. I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so here's my soup. This is a nice big pan of roast vegetables, as you see. I've got all sorts in here. Tomatoes, garlic, butternut squash, sweet potato, parsnips, carrots, green peppers. Did I say garlic? Onions. And I am using vegetable stock to help make it a nice fluid soup as I blend it up. And I'm going to just simply make this one up. So this one is meant to be made up with half a litre of water. I'm just going to make it with 800, and if I wanted to thin down my soup even more, I could have made this with a litre, or I could add another 200 mils of water to my soup, whichever way around you want to work that equation out. So that's a top tip from me. So the longer you roast your vegetables and the slower you roast them, the richer the flavour becomes with the olive oil. And I also like to add green olives and black sliced olives pipped into my roasting tin, because it just gives it a much richer, denser flavour, and a little je ne sais quoi. Once everything has cooled down and it's all been roasted and I've allowed it to cool slightly, I add it to my Magimix or my blender. This is Kenwood. I've had it for a very long time. It's a lifesaver. And I just add in batches, ladle it in, and then add various amounts of broth to blend it down. There is no science to this. It's not exact because it all goes into another pot where I then mix it all together to make it all one big smooth, lovely mess of soup. So it's all very boring. As you see, it's just a straightforward mix, and you can make this as chunky or as smooth as you wish. I like it to be a little bit coarse, but as you see, so it looks a little bit lumpy, but actually it turned out to be super smooth regardless of how I tried to do this. So I do this in a couple of batches, and as you see, I bring it over to my big pot of simmering, smouldering wonderfulness where I can then turn it into a delightful meal. So I think this one happened in 3 batches, and each batch was a slightly different consistency, and therefore the colour looks different as well as it goes in. My final fill of the Magimix, I pour the broth into the baking pan, and then I use the baking pan to get everything out, including the oils, the juices, everything. So it all goes in to the final mix. So as you see, it's come out a different colour. And then I can just mix it all together. Now, if this was just tomato soup, I would be adding some cream to make it super creamy, like a cream of tomato. However, as I discovered, because I've not done this one with so much sweet potato before, it actually already had a very sweetness to it and a creaminess that I wasn't expecting. So I decided not to add 250 ml of cream to my mix. But as I say, if this was just tomatoes and sweet peppers, I would have done that, absolutely. But you can use it to garnish as well if you want to make it look, like a fancy restaurant soup. You can dribble a few bits into your soup as you dish it up. And this is what I would be using. I've also added some yeast flakes for health benefits for me, and salt and pepper to taste at the end of this. And I've served it up with some fresh focaccia bread. It was super yummy. I really enjoyed it. I also had a beautiful Christmas movie to watch and a super fresh glass of rosé wine as it was dinner time, and we enjoyed that by the fire in front of the TV watching some Christmas movies because it is the season. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you do make it, let me know in comments. Until the next one, take care. Bye bye.